I'm Shreya. I'm a fourth year undergraduate at the Department of Material Science and Engineering at IITK. So I'm basically the class of 2020, that is I'll be graduating soon. So I'd like to talk more about my internship experience. I interned at the Mitsubishi Heavy Industries as a Research and Innovation Center in Takasago, Japan. So the profile was basically of an engineer, and I'd also like to give an overview of my profile. So in the first year I was part of the dramatics club throughout, and then I was a part of the women's cell as well, and I was also a part of the core team of Antaragni 2019. So now I'd like to talk about how I landed an internship at Mitsubishi Heavy Industries. So at the end of the second year, I was sure I first wanted to try my hand at the core sector and then maybe look at other opportunities. So I took up a project under a professor in my department. I did the project throughout my summers and then continued doing it as a UGP. And in 5th semester, honestly speaking, I slacked off a lot. I knew I would not get into the research programs because I did not have a very good CPI. My CPI was about 7.2, but not good enough for the research programs. So I knew I had to mail to individual professors if I wanted to get a research internship. And after this 5th semester ended, I knew I had to buck up in the 6th semester. I was keeping an eye at the SPA portal as well. And when Mitsubishi came, it was the first company that I applied to. And the first round was a resume shortlisting process, and three of us got shortlisted from our branch. All three of us had fair CPIs. We had also done work outside of academics, and the two of us had done projects as well. So I think that was sort of the criteria for the resume shortlisting thing. And then there was this HR interview, just one HR interview. I spoke to the alums working at Mitsubishi as well as last year interns, and hence I had a fair idea what skills they'll be looking at. They told me that they'll be looking at how adaptable I am, how open I am to new culture, and how open I am to taking up a job at Mitsubishi as well. And most of my interview was centered around it. They asked me questions that if I'd like to learn a new language and my family background and stuff. A lot of it was chit-chatty as well, as they asked me general questions about the campus, about my life here at IIT Kanpur, my project and stuff. And then there was a small quant test, and you can practice the quantitative thing from pariksha.com as well. It was very simple, and that is how I landed an internship at Mitsubishi. Honestly speaking, I was lucky because the cold mailing process and all, it is very tiring. You never know which professor will respond or not. And in terms of the company, it was the first company that I applied to and I got into it. So that is really lucky, to be honest. But I'd like to say that if I hadn't gotten into Mitsubishi or such similar companies, I would have definitely moved on to try other profiles as well. But as long as I had options, I was sure I first wanted to explore the core sector. And I would like to advise all of you to have one profile in mind and try and prepare for it well. Build your resume, do things, acquire skills, take up projects, and whatever you'd like to do for that particular job or that particular profile, and give your best. So now I'd like to talk about the frequently asked questions. So if you have doubts regarding what are the core opportunities in the internship, placements, and then what are the opportunities if you convert your degree into a dual degree. So basically the opportunities are limited. There are few companies, not a lot of companies, but I still think that it's better than a lot of other branches. So for internship there was GE, there was Mitsubishi, there was Vedanta, JSW and Tata Steel. So that's all I remember. And the case is similar for the placements as well. If you convert your degree into an MTech degree, I think you just add on to 2 or 3 more good companies on the list. One that I know of is Applied Materials. It does not make a lot of difference, but still if you're very much into that particular company, you can do that. And apart from India, so the scene is much better. So if you decide to go for higher studies, it's really good in Europe or US, so you can definitely do that as well. And in terms of internships, I'd like to mention that there are a lot of industries in the metallurgy sector that do take up students outside of SPO, so you can apply there as well if you really want to get an industrial intern. And then I'd like to talk about what all preparation is required apart from coursework. So obviously you need to be well versed with the technical stuff of your courses, like there could be questions on iron carbon phase diagram or nature and properties of materials. But that is not all. You need to develop soft skills as well. So there will be HR interviews, there will be group discussions. You have to speak up like confidently. So try and prepare for that as well, the generally asked HR questions and stuff. And then you also have to be well versed with your resume. So anything in your resume which might be non-core as well, so you have to know that as well, because they can ask anything that you want to know about. The next question being that what other roles open up for the students of MSc. So almost all other roles open up. Just because you're from material science and engineering does not mean that a certain company will restrict you. There are companies, coding companies and quant companies that just want children from computer science or MTH or electrical, but there are plenty other opportunities in the same profile as well, so you need not worry about it. And then another question being how to land a good internship, a good research internship at a good university. So there are basically 3 ways to do that. The first one being through research programs. For that you need to have a good CPI 8.5 plus and stuff. You need to take up a project under a professor so that you can write about it, so that there are professors who can recommend you well. The second being the tie-ups that the institute has with other institutions, one of them being TAMU. So similarly you have to write a statement of purpose, there should be professors who will give you recommendations and stuff. And the third one and the most difficult one being that you have to mail to individual professors at individual universities. So for that you first have to find out universities that take up students. So for that you can maybe contact your seniors, look up to their profiles where they went for internships and where they are studying. So those companies are maybe likely to allow you as well. And then to find more universities, it is quite a random process. You can shortlist by QS ranking, you may ask your professors, so that is how it goes. But the mailing process is tedious because you need to write a generic statement of purpose, but you need to also be specific to that particular professor, what work of his interests you. So that is tedious, but do not lose hope, keep on doing that. It's very luck based. You might get your first reply at the 10th mail, or you might not get even a reply after your 60th mail. It's that random, but you need to keep on going. So these are the 3 ways in which you can get an internship, and I think that I mostly answered all the questions that you students have in your class. So now I'd like to talk about my work experience. My experience in Takasago, Japan was really nice. My colleagues were very welcoming, and I had plenty of time to do all the tourist things. And in terms of the job that I was given, it was a pretty interesting job. It was something that the trouble the company was facing in real time. So I had to solve this, and I had a lot of assistance from my colleagues as well. They used to give me research papers, they used to teach me things, they used to suggest me things. So it was all a very creative process and a very nice process. And I enjoyed it more because the job represented more of something related to engineering rather than pure research work, which was actually nice. And in terms of other opportunities available in the field, there are similar roles available in a lot of companies, the Siemens, GE, Google. So I don't know how easy it would be to shift, but there are similar roles required in a lot of companies. And then I can always go for higher studies if I feel that I need to change geographies, or maybe try different thing, maybe MBA or Masters or PhD or anything. So I think that's all pretty flexible, and you can always also continue within the same company. So that will be it. So I'd like to wish all the students appearing for the intern season all the best, and do your great, and thank you.